Let's try it again. Good morning, IMSA. Good morning. Welcome to Convocation. My name is Katie Berger, and I serve as the Chief Student Affairs Officer here at IMSA. I am so pleased to be here with all of you and initiate a new academic year and offer my welcome on behalf of the Academy. First, I'd like to welcome our sophomores, the class of 2027. Where are you at, sophomores? Sophomores, you are embarking on a series of firsts here at IMSA, and we are so pleased to welcome you. Know that you were chosen to be here and to be a part of this group of esteemed young learners. As you navigate your first year here at IMSA, I hope that you embrace a love of learning and develop a collaborative spirit. Over the years, I've come to understand that the true magic of IMSA lies in the people. It's in the spontaneous peer-to-peer learning that happens usually late at night, and the relationships that last a lifetime. So take the time to get to know your peers, your RCs, the faculty, the custodians, the counselors, the security officers, because we are all so grateful to be a part of your IMSA experience and looking forward to seeing you grow over the next 3 years. Now, where are the juniors? Where's the class of 2026? Woo! The juniors are awake. They're ready. They're ready. Juniors, it's your second year at IMSA. You've explored your passions, you've joined clubs, you figured out how to navigate that maze that is A-Wing, mostly, right? You've built relationships with friends and with staff. And while you're a little bit wiser going into your second year, I often observe juniors worrying about the challenges that lie ahead. And maybe that's natural as you embark on new challenges. My advice to you is that if you're going to spend time worrying about the worst case scenario, it's only fair to spend time considering the best case scenario, and maybe even the most likely scenario. That mindset shift might not only change your approach to challenges, but also influence your success and your fulfillment during the roller coaster that is junior year. And now, of course, we wouldn't be able to start the academic year without acknowledging who? We can't start the school year without acknowledging our staff and faculty. The staff and faculty. In the days, weeks, and months leading up to today, the IMSA faculty and staff have been hard at work preparing for this day today to welcome you all back to campus. I know some of you noticed the physical changes to the spaces when you came in for move-in, marveled at the painted walls and the gym and the new doors, and we're excited to expose you to so many additional new things that we have in store for this year. So thank you to each and every member of IMSA's faculty and staff for your dedication to the students and to the Academy's mission. And last, but certainly not least, the people in the good seats on the floor, the class of 2025, our seniors. Welcome back. Seniors, today you are beginning the first of many lasts here at IMSA. Your last convocation, your last first day of class. I hope this year is full of learning, engaging with your peers, and exciting planning towards your future. Remember to enjoy your last year here at IMSA. Find ways to lift up those around you and take the time to thank those that helped you along the way. Class of 2025, we look forward to celebrating each milestone with you as you navigate your third and final year here at IMSA. As some of you might know, Convocation is actually one of my favorite days of the academic year because we're all together as a community, looking our best, feeling our best. We've had good sleep, we're ready, and we have endless opportunities ahead. I look forward to seeing the amazing things we will do together as an IMSA community. Welcome back to each and every one of you. And now, I'd like to introduce your Student Council President, Miss Emily Isham.
Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. One and done. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Good morning, IMSA. My name is Emily Isham, and it is my honor to deliver this commencement address to you this morning. As one does, I'll start by sharing a bit about myself. As a Shmen, or a student who skipped their freshman year of high school, I arrived at IMSA shortly after my 14th birthday. And, like most teenagers, I preferred to spend my time on TikTok and goofing off instead of doing my work. Fortunately, IMSA provided a harsh reality check. Coming from a school where 80% constituted an A, I was not ready for IMSA's rigorous curriculum. I struggled to adjust to the heavy workload, extracurricular activities, complicated social life, and IMSA began to seem impossible. I was surrounded by the constant drive to excel and perform at such a high level that I felt isolated, alone, and plagued with imposter syndrome. Yet, rather than succumbing to my misery and an atrocious CSI grade, I decided to shift my mindset a bit. Rather than seeing IMSA as a makeshift prison with challenges and jump scares left and right, I began to view it as a game. Not a race like Mario Kart, but a game of Minecraft. So, unless you've been living under a rock or a cobblestone block, you know that Minecraft is a sandbox video game developed in 2011 that's basically like digital Legos, where you roam around a pixelated 3D world, dig up various ores, and build whatever creations come to mind. Since its release, Minecraft has expanded with numerous updates and has become one of the best-selling video games of all time, celebrated for its educational and creative potential, because apparently mining diamonds and fighting off creepers is educational. IMSA reminds me of Minecraft, not just because we all sometimes feel like we're digging for diamonds in our studies, but because IMSA is a place to be creative and explore for opportunities of collaboration and adventure. The challenges we face here are similar to navigating complex builds and battling mobs as they allow us to grow and solve problems. Together, these elements combine to create one grand immersive game. Now, navigating this game itself hardly follows a linear fashion, but the game makers and IMSA administration have made it a bit easier for us by dividing it into 3 distinct checkpoints. Sophomores, who are spawning in, juniors entering the nether realm, and seniors who are now approaching the end. As it happens, we are standing at the beginning of these checkpoints right now. Firstly, to the class of 2027, welcome to the spawn point. I understand that you may feel lost and confused right now. However, all you need is a wooden pickaxe, or, equal in value, a pencil, to tackle this year and the opportunities it presents. If there is one piece of advice that I know will help you through this game, it is that your fear of looking stupid is holding you back. The caves you're afraid to explore are where the treasures are. I understand that the fear of failure may be holding you back, but how often do we make the right choice when we are scared? Sure, a diamond heist gone wrong or getting lost in a cave might lead you to lose some items, but at IMSA, you'll develop the skills to get them back. And who knows? Maybe you'll discover some hidden gems or new talents while you're at it. Remember, you can't control where you start in this world, but you can change where you end up, even if it's not where you expect. To the class of 2026, welcome to the Nether. This year, you'll use the resources you gathered as sophomores to navigate this fiery realm. I promise that junior year will test you, but I challenge you to remain patient and disciplined. Think about it. Just as netherite armor takes longer to craft, its durability and strength are worth it, the effort in the end. Please remember to prioritize your well-being and don't swim in lava to keep yourself or others warm. It will all be worth it, as every challenge you overcome brings you closer to facing the end. And finally, to the class of 2025, welcome to the end. I hope you all enjoyed this past summer because you only have one more left as a child. Before you leave this place, try to make your mark before the end credits roll and leave the game better than when you began. I encourage everyone to be kind to each other, as darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Be a torch, light up someone's world, and warn others of lurking creepers. And at the end of your journey, never forget the wooden pickaxe that started it all. Finally, I would like to address our faculty and staff, our game makers. As the students head on their journey, I would like to share with you a message I shared with several educators in Oak Brook at a state conference this past July. Although the students here strive to live independently and conduct themselves as adults, the reality is that we are still children. I have not forgotten a single time an IMSA staff member has extended support and kindness in a time of struggle. This academic year, I ask that you approach us with empathy. As teenagers, we face numerous challenges beyond just academics and this game. A simple gesture of sympathy will not be forgotten. Although we use these titles and checkpoints to serve as marks of our roles and progress through this game, it is what we do on the day-to-day that matters. Life, IMSA, the game. It's not about destroying the world or yourself, just to build something new. The purpose of the game is to build a better version of yourself. As we begin the academic year, remember that this game offers us the chance to shape our own path. Whether you're spawning in at IMSA, navigating the Nether, or preparing to face the Ender Dragon, remember that each step you take is building towards a better and brighter future. So, grab your tools, whether they're pickaxes or pencils, and let's create something beautiful by building our futures one block at a time. Thank you. And now I would like to welcome IMSA's president, Dr. Evan Glazer, to the stage.
Welcome back, IMSA. It is so wonderful to see all of you looking incredibly sharp to set a positive tone for the year ahead. Thank you, Emily, for those terrific remarks, for the introduction. I know you'll do a wonderful job representing the student body as student council president. I'm so excited to welcome you to our first day at Convocation. There's nothing that brings me more joy than knowing we're in school. I absolutely love being in school. I'm so grateful you're here with us today. It's the time when your mind and body are recharged. It's a time when you can reconnect with friends and also a wonderful opportunity to make new ones. Our alumni tell us year after year that the memories and friendships they created at IMSA endure for a lifetime. I can attest to that based on all the alumni I've had a chance to see. Their IMSA friends are stronger connections than all the friends they meet afterwards. So please cherish this time together. You have such a unique opportunity to get to know students from all over the state of Illinois, from many different backgrounds, from many different identities. Take time to explore and get to know friends that have many different interests and life experiences, and really appreciate the passion and commitment that is shared among every single one of you. I want to recognize some important public officials in the audience who are important to IMSA and who have come here today because they know it's a special day for all of us. With us, we have Illinois Deputy Governor of Education, Martin Torres. He represents all 654 of our students. We also have Illinois Senator Laura Ellman from the 21st District. 29 IMSA students reside in Senator Ellman's district. We also have Illinois Representative Barbara Hernandez from the 50th District. "21 IMSA students reside in Leader Hernandez's district. We also have Michelle C.M. Ferry, Chief of Staff serving Illinois Representative Stephanie Kifowit from the 84th District. "49 of our students reside in that district. We also have Illinois Representative Maura Hirschauer from the 49th District. Where 22 of our students reside. These leaders champion IMSA to obtain the necessary support, ensuring our ability to continue innovating into the future. I'm extremely grateful for their leadership, service, and commitment to this institution that we so dearly love. They advocate for you year in and year out because they share the belief that in each and every one of you, you are capable of making a significant contribution to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in a way that will improve the lives of the people of Illinois, whether that's finding a cure to a disease, developing an invention, improving the environment, creating new jobs, or committing to service the public in a way that makes life more meaningful and accessible for all the people in our communities. Advancing the human condition is our aspiration for you, and we're so fortunate to have the backing from leaders who are here today in the state of Illinois who believe you will create not just a better state, but a better world. Also with us today, we have a whole section of distinguished guests here to celebrate with us. Among them are friends who have contributed to making IMSA what it is today, including former faculty and staff, alumni, and community members who believe in what IMSA can do for our future. Among them, I would like to recognize Aurora Deputy Mayor Guillermo Trujillo, IMSA Board of Trustees, Dr. Roberto Cerci, Fred Chin, and Dr. Susan Corwith. And former faculty and staff, Dale Aronston, Dr. Dave Duvall, Dr. Christian Nachenved, and our founding president, Dr. Stephanie Pace Marshall. To our class of 2027, welcome to an environment that will change your life. You likely came here to pursue opportunities not available in your home community and to meet other curious students who have questions that are really ambitious. You want to be around inventors, dreamers, and people who want to tackle problems that do not have known solutions. Well, you found that place to dream. You have found the people who want to excel, people who will push you, and people who will challenge you in a way that you'll make mistakes. And trust me, you will make a lot of mistakes. We expect you to make mistakes like you've never made before, and we expect you to be vulnerable, to share your humility, and express your hunger to be resilient and to seek to constantly get better. To our returning students, I ask that you embrace our new students and show them the ropes. Try to remember how you felt on your first day, likely anxious and wondering how you'll fit in, and help them feel at ease with their new environment. Whether that's showing them how to study for a test, where to get help on writing, how to ask for an extension, or how to navigate to get something good to eat or drink on Orchard Road. And watch closely. Don't expect newcomers to automatically ask for help. Put yourself in their shoes. Sometimes they don't know who to ask or are afraid to ask, so just step in. Assume they need a friend and offer help. Our newcomers look to you for guidance, and please know that is appreciated. Many of you have engaged in summer research projects and internships all around the state, at universities and with industry. I hope these experiences have been challenging and meaningful for you, and you've given thought about what you'd like to study further. I'd like to thank you for sharing findings from your experience in our summer symposium that will occur after convocation. It's a great new tradition to recognize your hard work and give you a chance to share what's fresh on your mind. I hope it leaves our students with inspiration of what's possible at IMSA, not just here at 1500 Sullivan Road, but through the partnerships we have developed all over the state of Illinois. Also see this as an opportunity to connect with peers who have similar interests, where you can introduce them to a professional that you got to know. I also want to take a moment to express my gratitude to the people at IMSA that have prepared for your arrival so that you can have a great experience this year. I'd like to thank our facilities team for improving the building over the summer, our technology team to make sure your accounts and tech services are ready, our security team for keeping everyone safe, our business office team for ordering necessary supplies, our HR team for hiring great RCs, faculty, and other staff, our admissions team for bringing you to IMSA, our public affairs team for sharing IMSA news over the summer and engaging our alumni, our academic team for preparing their courses and all the support systems so you can be successful, our SIR and INTU teams for preparing our symposium, our development team for raising funds to enhance your experience at IMSA, our advocates for opening their time and their hearts to help you, and our student affairs team for welcoming our students and preparing great community building experiences in the weeks ahead. Let's give all of these colleagues a big round of applause. I also want to thank you, our students. You're the reason why we're here. I started my career 30 years ago with a dream to transform learning in a way that encouraged inquiry and discovery. I became an educator because there's nothing that brings me more joy than seeing you learn, discover, and aspire to change the world. Nothing brings me more joy. The first day, our convocation, is to celebrate this opportunity that lies ahead of you, and also appreciate the countless adults among us who have committed their lives to ignite and nurture you to pursue your dreams. With this in mind, I wish you a wonderful launch to our school year. I look forward to getting you to know you more, learning about what IMSA means to you, and the aspirations you have to make the Academy a better place for learning and growing. Thank you. It's now my honor to make a special introduction to our guest speaker. To make some welcoming remarks, Mr. Martin Torres, our Deputy Governor of Education. Martin Torres is the Deputy Governor for Education in the Office of Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. Martin served as Deputy Policy Director for the Governor's first campaign for office and in the administration as a Senior Policy Advisor and later First Assistant Deputy Governor of Education. He oversees 4 state agencies, chairs the P20 Council and the Early Learning Council. He leads the appointment process for all education-related state boards and commissions, including those at IMSA. Prior to his work in state government, Martin served as an associate director of the Latino Policy Forum, where he guided the organization's legislative and administrative advocacy with a focus on education, immigrant integration, and fiscal policy. He also served several years in Washington, D.C., working at the Alliance for Excellent Education and the White House Initiative on Educational Excellence for Hispanic Americans. Martin has a bachelor's degree in political science from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, go Illini, and a master's degree in public policy from the University of Chicago's Harris School of Public Policy. Please join me in giving a big IMSA welcome to Deputy Governor Martin Torres.
Good morning, everybody. I want to start by acknowledging Dr. Glazer, who I've had the privilege of working with for several years, and you can hear the passion and the emotion that he brings to this job. And I would tell you, he carries that with him in every single meeting I've ever been in with him when he's talking about IMSA. There is nobody who has your back more than Dr. Evan Glazer, so thank you. I was heartened when your student council president spoke first by her words and her eloquence and her grace. One, I think I better understand Minecraft now. It's been eluding me for years as a parent. But what struck me the most there was how you received her, the warm welcome she received from her peers. That is notable, and it struck me, and you're all going to need each other, so I was really heartened to see that. The most important title that I hold is father. I have two middle school age children, and I typically speak to an older audience, folks who are hanging on the whims of Springfield and our partners in the General Assembly. And I told them I was going to speak to a group of high school students. I was like, listen, what do young people want to hear? They were like, I don't know, Dad, just don't be mid. And so I'm going to do my best to meet them with that aspiration. I oversee the education portfolio from birth through post-secondary. Evan, thank you for the introduction. The governor's goal in education, his vision, his big picture vision in education, is simple and profound at the same time. It is to make Illinois the best state in the nation to raise a family. And, well, what does that mean for students who are your age? Well, we spend our time working to make sure that we are adequately and equitably funding our public schools so that they have all the resources they need to give you the tools to succeed. We've put in more than $1.8 billion into our evidence-based funding formula since the governor's been in office to give every single school in Illinois what they need to support our students. We focus on teacher diversity and strengthening the teacher pipeline, recognizing that the most important asset we have in improving the Needle in education are the people at the front of the classroom, right? So we've increased teacher pay, right? Important. We've incentivized. Thank you. We've given $45 million a year through a 3-year pilot program that's giving the 170 school districts in the state that have the greatest number of teacher vacancies discretionary dollars so that they can pursue teachers and bring people in so that they can be more competitive in that marketplace. We are working day in and day out to make going to college in Illinois as affordable and attractive as possible. We recognize that when you graduate from IMSA and you start to make decisions about your life, there are going to be institutions across the country that are competing for your talent. And like your parents, the state of Illinois wants you to stay here. We want you to be in Illinois, to work in Illinois, to raise a family in Illinois, to continue to be a part of the fabric of the state of Illinois. So part of our effort to make Illinois as attractive and affordable as possible have been the investments we've made in post-secondary. We have increased operating dollars for our community colleges and our public universities by more than $260 million. We have increased need-based financial aid by more than $300 million. What does that mean? If you're a MAP grant recipient, we've just about doubled the award that the state has given you and expanded its reach. We are trying to give you every reason to stay here in Illinois. Now, I thought about concluding by really giving the hard sell on why to stay in Illinois, and yet I had my kids' comments about not being mid in mind. And so I thought I'd offer you a couple of very brief sets of advice. First, lead with kindness. You don't know what your peers are going through. They may have some really heavy things happening in their life. Give them grace, right? Don't have fun at their expense. Second thing, never, ever negotiate against yourself. The next big decision you're going to make is where you go to college, right? You're going to have options. Honestly, it's a daunting decision that you're going to have to make. As you consider your options, you should 100% apply to all of your dream schools, even the ones that seem slightly out of reach. Because the reality is you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and getting rejected from that institution is the same as not applying, except you didn't give your chances an opportunity to compete. The third thing is to trust your instincts. Now, I don't say this to say that you should ignore the advice of your parents. You should 100%. They have your best interest at heart, I promise you. And yet, you are going to have to live with every decision that you make. And so, as you consider what you want to pursue, perhaps you want to go into a career that nobody in your family has ever gone into, or that none of your friends are going into. That can be kind of scary to walk that path alone. You should trust your instincts and follow what you want to do. Final piece here is that you should consider a career that's going to give you satisfaction, something that is going to truly bring you joy. When I was a child, my father was a mailman, and I remember him working very hard, but what I really remember is that he didn't like his job. Right? I saw him work day in and day out to provide for us, and yet he just really didn't like what he was doing. And I told myself when I was very young, I was never going to do that. I was always going to have a job that I enjoyed, and I have. But you have to create that path for yourself. And so choose something that you're going to do. Pursue it even if it seems daunting, difficult. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you here today. I look out at you and I see nothing but potential. And while some generations have less than optimistic things to say about the generations that precede them, I am so excited for what you bring to the table. And if that's embodied even slightly by your student council president, I know the future is very bright. Thank you very much. Good luck with the start of your school year.
Deputy Governor Torres, I just want to express our gratitude. We know that you have so many important opportunities in the state of Illinois, and you've chosen to spend the day with us. You should also know, all of you should know, that Deputy Governor Torres is the leader representing us in direct conversations with the governor. So I thought, as a special appreciation, token of appreciation, that we would offer you a little IMSA swag so that next time you have a conversation with the governor, he knows what's on your mind. So thank you for being here.
Good morning, IMSA community, and a continued welcome to our special guests. My name is Dr. Angela Raleigh, and I am deeply honored to serve as our principal and chief academic officer. It is my pleasure to introduce our musical performance this morning. Miss Rachel Key is an accomplished musician, beginning piano at age 5 and violin at age 10. She has performed with various orchestra groups, including IMSA's Chamber, Strings, and Symphony, and the Chicago Youth Symphony, as well as qualifying for the ILMEA All-State Honors Orchestra. Rachel has played in many regional, state, and international competitions, including the American Protégé International Piano and Strings Competition, placing second and earning the honor to perform at Carnegie Hall. Accompanying Ms. Key will be Ms. Lily Zhang. Lily is both an accomplished pianist and a viola player. She has played piano in venues across the country, including Carnegie Hall and the Lincoln Center. This morning, they will be performing Violin Concerto No. 1 by Max Bruch. Leon Letterman, one of our founding, both Nobel Prize winners as well as founding thinkers around IMSA, always spoke to us about the balance of the arts and the humanities along with math and science. And so I just thank you, Rachel and Lily, for such a beautiful piece, such a masterful performance. It is with great pleasure that I now introduce Dr. Michael Hancock, our convocation speaker. Dr. Hancock is an IMSA Charter Class alumnus, class of 1989, and a former 1501 resident. Where's 1501? After graduating from IMSA, Michael earned his bachelor's degree in English from the University of Notre Dame, his master's degree in English from Kansas State University, and his doctorate in English from the University of Kansas. Dr. Hancock began teaching English at IMSA in the fall of 2001. He teaches Literary Explorations 1, 2, and 3, along with electives in creative writing, graphic novels, and satire. When he's not teaching or grading, Michael enjoys building Legos and collecting 6-scale figures and statues. Please help me welcome Charter Class alumnus, Dr. Michael Hancock.
Thank you, Dr. Rowley, and good morning, IMSA. Welcome to our sophomores and other newcomers, and welcome back to everyone else, juniors and seniors, faculty and staff, alumni, emeritus titans, distinguished returning guests, and friends. We're glad you could join us. Recently, I was helping to interview a job candidate for an opening at IMSA. It so happened we had much in common. She was my age, knew my hometown because she had recently worked as an administrator at my home high school and had spent much of her life on farms like the one where I grew up. Yes, I am a rural kid. It also turned out that she had visited IMSA before it opened as a prospective student around the same time I did. Who knows? We might have even been in the same tour group together. After we compared memories of IMSA before IMSA with an A-wing classroom jury-rigged into a mock student residence hall room that looked nothing like our early barracks, she briefly explained why she did not attend. She said her parents decided not to send her away to live in a vision. I laughed, but silently bristled at the unintended implicit criticism of my presumably neglectful parents who had exiled their firstborn, me, to Vision Land at 15. Last month, I reconvened with my fellow Vision survivors of IMSA's charter class for our 35-year reunion in Naperville. Note to Human Resources, risotto bar for our next staff appreciation event. I'll admit to feeling some trepidation at the thought of being around alums with far more glittering accomplishments than my own. The well-heeled donors, the early tech boom retirees. But we slipped back into the easygoing fellow feeling of our original social network. Thank goodness for our name tags, or Andy Alt never would have recognized me with my pandemic-inspired beard. We remembered friends and mentors we'd lost and reminisced with a trivia contest on IMSA and the 80s, but mostly talked about our lives now until the hotel staff chased us off to the bar. Board Chair Aaron Roach, a fellow 89er and an accomplished K-8 Chicago school principal, bought me a drink as we shared our reading recommendations and thoughts on AI in education. Laura Brady, my prom date, and a current 8th grade Spanish teacher, chatted about how beginning language instruction has evolved to focus on comprehension over conjugation. A long conversation with another former classmate who works with student retention in Chicago schools reminded me again of how the early IMSA vision of a pioneering educational community often yielded future educators like myself, even in non-STEM fields. In some ways, that outcome was entirely predictable, as we were reminded of during our reunion trivia contest. For the record, my team didn't even make the final round. I was kind of dead weight, thanks to our scrupulous reliance on our faulty memories over the internet. A couple questions asked us to recall statistics that then Fermilab director and IMSA founding father, Dr. Leon Letterman, peppered us with at our first convocation. Dr. Letterman predicted 0.3% of us would go on to win the Nobel Prize, as he would do in 1988 for his work with neutrinos. Rest assured, I'm still working on it. He also said that 1% of us would wind up in the state pen. No, I haven't been to prison yet. I suspect that these numbers are still somewhat reliable. So take a good look around at the future laureates and potential convicts in your midst today. You all belong here. More important, Dr. Letterman memorably articulated what I still understand to be the IMSA vision for our residential learning community, then and now. He said, if we do what we know and feel is right, it is bound to happen that among our graduates, there will be numbered scientists, engineers, and those who go on to earn degrees in law and letters. There are likely to be those few who create new intellectual worlds, cure a dreaded human ailment, or in some other way significantly influence life on our planet. Our philosophy will be to treat our charges as if each one is capable of this extraordinary achievement. For me, the only other artifact from that time that comes as close to capturing IMSA's enduring essence is Gary Larson's Far Side cartoon, with a student outside the Midvale School for the Gifted, slumped over head first at the top of a short flight of stairs in front of a large brick wall, holding what is probably a copy of The Fountainhead in his right arm, struggling to push his way through an exterior door that reads, in all caps, "Pull." Though you'll more often hear our mission statement's company line about igniting and nurturing creative, ethical, scientific minds that advance the human condition, Dr. Letterman's credo best captures for me our community's animating principle. It firmly grounds my sense of our students' unknown and unknowable potential, individually and collectively, and of IMSA's commitment to both significantly challenge and fiercely support our charges. It reminds us all of how every student here deserves to be treated with respect, dignity, and love, and to be recognized, seen, and understood by everyone, students and staff alike. It also relieves you students of the burden of accomplishing your life's work in the next year or 2 or 3. So take it easy. To tell a home truth, IMSA hasn't always lived up to Dr. Letterman's vision for it and for us. However, that shouldn't make us any less optimistic about IMSA's potential or our own. In fact, such shortcomings are to be expected when we aspire to push the boundaries of knowledge and test our own capabilities in a crucible and community of diverse individuals and ideas. When IMSA falls short of its promise, it's our responsibility and our privilege to speak up and speak out. As my dad used to say of the chores he gave me and my younger sister and brother on our short 80 acres, you get to do it. My sophomore year, in an underground newsletter, some of my fellow classmates drew up a list of grievances, mostly about residential life in converted classroom and lab spaces. Even if we didn't get everything we wanted, we felt heard by IMSA's leadership. Just before the pandemic, when our faculty sought more of a voice in decisions that affected teaching and learning, I helped to organize the IMSA Council, our union of educators, which I have proudly served as president to this day. We have felt heard. Last school year, many of you students joined a walkout protest over safety, belonging, and well-being because you and your classmates did not feel seen or heard. I hope that you are feeling seen and heard by now. Advocacy and activism serve our common good. Each fall, in a 2-minute advice to noobs speech assignment, thank you, Ms. Townsend, for the idea, I ask my sophomores what one piece of advice they would give to next year's incoming sophomore class. In the spirit of IMSA visioning, I'll close by sharing some of last year's highlights, which I trust will help to make us and IMSA even better. 1, develop a schedule. 2, take time for yourself. 3, procrastinate. 4, don't procrastinate. 5, don't compare yourself to others. 6, use your resources. 7, ask for help. 8, find your people. 9, be active in the community. 10, build a 12-foot ladder for a 10-foot wall. And finally, most important, avoid nerd stink. It's a privilege to be spending my career at a place that holds a special meaning for me. IMSA students are one of the joys of my life. I'm fulfilled by forging a relationship between teenagers and reading, and by helping students find and use their voices. Students, I hope IMSA helps you to discover lifelong work that sustains you as it has done for me. On behalf of the faculty and our alumni, I wish you an extraordinary year, IMSA, You get to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hancock, for sharing your IMSA and beyond story with us. I'm always amazed when we hear a charter class speak about their IMSA experience. I reflect on the courage that they and their families had to embrace the unknown and pursue an educational opportunity that was filled with uncertainty and unproven success. There were no alumni success stories. There was no IMSA profile with all the historical data about our students. There were only a small group of people who believed that our educational system could be better. And not just be better by putting wings on a caterpillar, but could redesign the entire learning experience to truly be transformative in the way a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. And now, almost 40 years later, we hold that same responsibility and opportunity to transform lives at IMSA. Last summer, there was a blockbuster movie that is a great representation of IMSA. No, not Barbie, although that was our homecoming theme, and many of you represented Barbie well. But I'm referring to Oppenheimer. And not just because Oppenheimer was about math and science, that's the easy answer, but because the scientists were challenged to find what was perceived to be an impossible solution on an even more impossible timeline, and when the risk of failure meant the loss of human life and the potential global shift in values. So what did they do? They found the most brilliant minds and brought them to live together, knowing that the synergy created by physical proximity, by sharing meals, through late nights, and through the inevitable personal and professional conflicts of opinion, would advance to a new level of thinking. And that is the essence of what IMSA can do. 80 years later, our world continues to have perceived impossible problems to solve. From global pandemics to racial tension and discrimination, where people's lives and physical safety are at risk because of their beliefs and or what they look like. We divide ourselves, asserting that for me to be right, you must be wrong. This dichotomous nature of society is only challenged when we come together as a community of learners. Only in exploring opposing opinions and beliefs can we create new meaning that can be transformative to our world, create common ground, and truly advance the human condition. IMSA provides the space, platform, and opportunity to do this important work. To our entire community, I challenged you this year to embrace the opportunities and possibilities that exist. We have an obligation to do better and to expect better of ourselves and others within our community because we can. Michael, I'd like you to join me as our convocation and a member of this pioneering class to the stage, please. "19 years ago at Convocation, then Principal Dr. Eric McLaren shared with our community a story of a school bell. The bell was used by his grandfather to ring in the 1918 school year in Ipava, Illinois. We know that IMSA represents the entire state of Illinois. The bell was used to call students together in the morning and in from recess. His grandfather brought that bell from Ipava to his next principal role in Towanda. It is another place in Illinois, for those not familiar. Dr. McLaren brought the bell to IMSA so that we could continue the tradition of ringing in the school year. Dr. Hancock, I ask you, as our convocation speaker, to join me in bringing in the new year by ringing our convocation bell. That's yours to keep. I have a box for it. That's yours to keep. I have a box for it. IMSA community, welcome to the 24-25 academic year.